So have you tried positive affirmations and they only seem to make your social anxiety worse? You use these I am confident statements to face your fears, but in the moment you panic and your social anxiety is way too intense for those positive affirmations to be effective. So in this video, I want to talk about why these positive affirmations are ineffective for social anxiety, and then I want to give you a far more effective approach that you can implement immediately. So make sure you stay until the end. All right. And so in these socially anxious moments, when you start to freak out, you start to fear being humiliated, fear being judged, and you get so nervous to the point where you're not even functional. The reason that these positive affirmations don't work is because they work at a cognitive level. Best way for me to help you understand this is it's almost like that iceberg diagram, right? You got the little bit of the iceberg above the water, but it's like 95% under the water. And if we could apply this to socially anxious situations, the thoughts are only that little bit of the iceberg that's above the water, and the 95% that's really the cause, that's really the root of what's going on, is the bottom of the iceberg, is that emotion, the emotions you're feeling, that 95% of what's actually happening for you internally. And so if you start trying to fix this problem with positive affirmations, you're only dealing with the voices and the thoughts, which are, it's just a little piece of what's actually happening, and it's not going to be that effective because this piece that's underneath the iceberg, the 95%, your emotional experience is what's actually triggering off your symptoms. That's why your mind's going blank. That's why your voice is shaking. That's why you can't be present. You can't be at ease. You can't be relaxed, because these emotions are setting off your fight or flight system. And we all have this system, right? It's a survival mechanism. And what you're experiencing is the consequences of that going off, right? Your mind's going blank, your breathing changes, your heart rate goes up, all of these different things that happen with the fight or flight system. And it's these emotions that are setting that off. And so I wrote an ebook, and it's going to be very informative for you to download, because it's going to show you exactly how your mind has been configured, why these emotions have set in, and why they keep triggering off this fight or flight system, which brings about those thoughts on the surface, which you are now trying to tackle with positive affirmation. It's not effective. So it'll help you really understand what's happening with you on a deep internal level. You know, like a mechanic knows a car. He knows exactly what's going on underneath the hood in the engine, and that's what you're gonna know as well once you read the book. And so don't do what I did. Don't try these surface level techniques, trying for years and years and years, and beating myself up because they weren't working and it wasn't effective and I thought I was doomed. Don't do what I did. Download the book, the ebook, read it for free, and take that weight off of your shoulders so you can get to the root of the issue. And so a far more effective approach that you want to take is, we call this negotiating for authentic self-leadership. And I'm going to explain this for you. When you're in that moment, when you're in that socially anxious moment, your fight or flight system's going off the chain, and you are, just panicking inside, and you just can't be present. Ditch the positive affirmation and really get a sense for what that voice is emotionally, what it's feeling emotionally. So if the voice says, it's not safe, we got to get out of here, you're in danger, they're going to make fun of you. What is the emotion? What is the emotion? What's really happening underneath? To me, that sounds like extreme terror, extreme fear. And if you were to take that emotion, picture that emotion outside of your body. So somebody else outside your body, you were observing them with that extreme terror and that extreme fear. And you saw them outside your body. And how would you communicate to that person? Would you say, you're confident, you are enough? No, you wouldn't say these positive affirmations. It's non-compassionate, there's no empathy, and there's no connection. It's not gonna build any trust that way with that that emotion or with that person, right? And so this is when the negotiating for authentic self-leadership comes up. Because if I went to that person and I said, you are confident, they would say, no, I'm not, right? And the same thing goes in your head. If you say, I'm confident, the voice is going to fight back. No, you're not. You're not confident. I can do this. No, you can't do this. They're going to laugh at you. So do you see that internal battle that's happening? And once you get the rebuttal, it's important to negotiate and say things along the lines of, okay, is it possible though that I'm slowly learning to be confident, right? Is there a small possibility that I can learn to be? Is there a really small chance that they possibly won't laugh at me, right? So do you see the negotiation? And what you will find is when you start softening up your language and stop hammering at it with such positive affirmations, when you soften it and your language becomes more empathetic, more compassionate, the voice will actually let loose. So it'll go something like, I'm confident. No, you're not. Okay, but is it possible? Is it possible that I'm slowly learning to be confident? And the voice will let loose. You might get a yes, or you might get a felt sense that this emotion has kind of dissipated. And when that emotion dissipates, that's when you get your cognitive abilities back. That's when you'll have your more presence. You'll become more aware of the external environment. You'll have your short-term memory back, your working memory, and you'll be able to respond and do what you need to, whether it's those work meetings, conversations, group gatherings, whatever those socially anxious moments are. So again, if the positive affirmations aren't working for you, don't lose hope. Soften the language, get a sense for what the emotion is, and start to negotiate with the emotion. The voices and the thoughts are just a symptom of what's happening on a much deeper level for you. And so if you found this video helpful, what you can do is join my private Facebook group. We got a great group of guys in there. We're almost up to 1,000 members now. And these guys are sharing, on a very real, very deep level, because it's a very supportive, non-judgmental, and safe space for them to share and get real about what's happening in their lives and how they're battling with this social anxiety. So it'd be really good for you to join, be supported. I'm in there as well, so you can ask me questions and have my guidance, and you can get in there, release all the shame and the secrecy that you have with this social anxiety, and we'd love to have you in there. So I'll see you on the inside. And if you need some more help with this, what you can do is watch the free training that I made for you. I'll link it below the video. It's down there with the Facebook group. And what happens is when these emotions are too intense, there's too much terror, there's too much fear, there's too much panic, is the negotiating may not be effective. It's just too intense. And long term, this is really what you want to deal with. You want to reprocess and actually get rid of these emotions so they're not setting off your fight or flight system anymore. And that's what the free training is going to show you how to do. And so I encourage you to watch that, have that deep understanding, and get to the root of the issue so you don't have to battle your thoughts and the voices any longer. All right, so be sure to check out the free training, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.